G'day people, just thought I'd do a video here for you on the MFJ 1785. This is a rotatable dipole for 80, 40 and 20 metres. I'll show you the bandwidths and talk about how they perform on each band. So on 80 metres is very narrow, 25 kilohertz roughly, and with the tuner perhaps 40 kilohertz usable. Mine's usually tuned for 3600. But after being beat to death for years with the wind and the rain, a big bird sat on a spoke and broke a spoke off, which doesn't matter, I've got it. I can just put it back on when I get a chance to do some work on the antenna next. So that's how if a spoke is shortened or removed, it moves your resonant frequency up the band, so that's what's happened here. So I'll just show you at 3 to 1, because that way everyone's tuner, even a 7300 or a Yaesu, they'll do 3 to 1. The bigger radios like my Kenwood here do a 10 to 1, which you can see me using on another video I have on my page here of it, on the G5RV. So 3 to 1 there, that'll show you, and like I said, it's out of tune. It's moved up the band, so I'll have to just go out of our bandwidth here a little bit, just above 700. 700 is our cutoff, so there you go. So you're looking at about 40 usable kilohertz with your tuner, with any radio, your little ICOM 7300, etc, etc. So I'll have a look at 40 meters. Oh, sorry, now 80 meters. It works really quite well on SSB. I don't do FT8. I've worked into New Caledonia, New Zealand, anywhere in Australia, and nobody can really tell the difference whether it's rotatable or a bit of wire, so it works quite well. But if you're a huge fan on 80 meters, I'd go for a bit of wire, because you will get more bandwidth, just depending on the layout of your station and situation. Now 40 meters, this thing works awesome on 40. I just tuned it for the middle part of the SSB part of the band, so that's 1 to 1, 50 ohms, and just down near the CW section, I just use a tuner just to keep it a little bit happier. So I think it's about 160 odd kilohertz usable on the 40 meter band. Now in Australia, you will not hear too many Australian stations, VKs above 200, because between 200 and 300 here we get bombarded with broadcast stations, so it's really quite hard to find a clear frequency. I know there's a lot of US stations that operate between 7200 and 7300, but that's why you might not hear too many VKs there, because you just can't find a clear frequency. So that's why mine's just tuned for this part of the band. What can I tell you on 40 meters? I compared it to an inverted V. It worked the same off the end of it. It worked better, and but the inverted V had more bandwidth. But the big trick is with this is, as soon as I put the inverted V up, all of a sudden I had all this noise from the neighbour's solar panels. So the vertical component in the inverted V would pick up the solar panels interference from the inverters, and the rotatable dipole, so that's the trick, is to be perfectly horizontal, dead quiet. It was just like the inverted V was like listening to AM with interference, and the rotatable dipole is like listening to FM quality. It was just chalk and cheese. It was amazing. So with that, I just pulled the inverted V down and never had it back up since. So it's just a trial. So there you go. So if you get noise from solar panels, that's what you need to look at, is to be perfectly horizontal. That's your best chance of eliminating the inverter noise. Now 20 meters does a whole band. It's a mono bander on 20 meters. Works exceptionally well. Where did I have that tuned? So that's about, where's the middle of the band? Right about there. So it's 1 to 1, 50 ohms or very close to it, 52 ohms perhaps, 1 to 1, and it does the whole band. And you could easily work the world. You're going to work plenty of DX with this, even on SSB. You'll have no worries at all. And I compared it. I had a 3-element tribander, trapped tribander below it, and it actually outperformed it. It was 1 S unit better than the trap tribander. So rule of thumb, if you can't get the height, like if you're in a residential area or something, just make sure it's big, because it's going to work. It'll radiate well. So it was an S unit better. So now I have a 4 element up, and yeah, there might be 3 dB in it between the two of them if you're lucky. So it does work exceptionally well on the 20 meter band, and you won't have any issues with that. So hopefully that helps someone. If you're looking at buying one of the, before MFJ go out of business, or they sell up their stock, or maybe you already have one and you can just compare it to this. So there you go. So thanks for watching, and 7 threes.